Hey everybody, welcome back to my Bake Like a Pro YouTube channel. In today's really fun video, we're going to make some banana bread. And the reason why I'm doing banana bread today is because I have a bunch of bananas that need to be used up. These are extremely ripe, so I'm going to use them up in this amazing recipe. For our recipe today, I have 3 ripe bananas. You can use 4 bananas if yours are a little bit smaller. 1 cup of granulated white sugar. This is 200 grams. 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. This is 225 grams. All-purpose flour is called plain flour in some countries. 1 cup of raisins. This is 150 grams, and this is optional. 1/2 cup of salted butter. This is 114 grams. 2 large eggs. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And I'm using baking powder today, but in some of my other recipes you'll see me using baking soda, and I usually use half that amount. So in today's recipe I've doubled it because I'm using baking powder, so I'm using 2 teaspoons, which is equal to 10 grams. And then we have 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. That is equal to 5 grams. And our last ingredient, 1/2 cup of sour cream. This is full fat sour cream. This is equal to 133 grams. If you don't have sour cream, you can use buttermilk or you can use yogurt instead. So that's it for the ingredients, so let's get started. So I've got my butter here. I'm just going to cut this up, just that the mixer has a little easier time breaking it down. And we're going to take all of our sugar and get that right in there. And then all of our butter. And that butter is salted. And then I'm going to get this on. This, by the way, is the brand new Cuisinart stand mixer. If you want to see an unboxing of this, I do have an unboxing, and I actually have a few videos now where I'm using this brand new stand mixer. It's really nice. We'll get that down. The maid knob is right here. I'm just going to turn this on. And I just want to mix this until it's creamed. So that is creamed. And then I'm going to add in my first egg. Get that mixed in. And you can see how that egg really starts making all of that mixture even better. Then I'm going to add in the second egg, and always crack your egg into a container before you pour it into your mixture, because if you do get a bad egg or if you get some shell, it's far easier to remove it from your bowl than to take it out of the main bowl with all the ingredients already mixed in. So then I'm just going to turn this on again. So that looks really good, and I've turned the mixer on a little bit higher just to really incorporate all of those ingredients and kind of get the mixture nice and fluffy. And we'll lift this up. I'm going to show you one of the bananas here. You can see just how ripe that is, and that's ready to go in. I'm just going to break off the end, and I'm not even going to like slice this up. I'm just going to break it into little pieces just like that. And then the second one. This is extremely ripe. And then our final banana. So that's 3 bananas. And those are so ripe, I don't even have to cut them down. And then I'm just going to drop this into place. And whenever you add a lot of ingredients, try not to turn on your mixer very high. So just speed number 1. Just until you see that everything's starting to break down. And then you can increase it. So before you add your flour, you can mix this as much as you want. After you add your flour, you don't really want to mix it that much because that will make the banana loaf or the banana bread a little bit less tender. But at this point here, you can mix this pretty high. So I'm just going to leave this on for maybe a minute. I just want this to break down. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's not even a minute of mixing. And then we have our all-purpose flour, and this is also called plain flour in many areas of the world. And then we have our baking powder. I'll just get that in. I'm just going to use a little whisk just to stir that in. Now you can sift this again, but this flour is pre-sifted. And I'm not really worried about sifting this again before I pour it in or as I pour it in, because this is a more of a dense type of bread or loaf or cake. So that's that. And then we have our raisins. Now you can add the raisins directly to the mix, but if you add them into your flour first, you'll coat those raisins and they have a better chance of being evenly, dispersed throughout your loaf. So just get them in there and just give them a little bit of a stir just to coat them all. That looks good. That looks good, just like that. We've got our vanilla. I'm going to add that in right now. And I'll just give that a little bit of a stir. And just turn that off. We'll lift up the machine. And then I'm just going to dump all of this in. And there we go. Close down the machine. Speed number 1. Nice and easy. And at this point, I don't want to really overmix our mixture. And our last ingredient is that sour cream. And I could have added it in just before I added the flour, but I'll do that now. So I'm just going to turn this off. Let's get that in. Make sure you get all of it. Okay, that's good. Made a little bit of a mess here. Let's just clean that. And then we'll turn the machine back on. Speed number 1. Now if you want to add nuts to this, you can add nuts. I usually do. Walnuts are amazing in banana bread. And you can also add just a little touch of cinnamon. You don't want to overdo it with the cinnamon, just a pinch. And that makes a really nice addition as well. So that's good, just like that. We're going to turn it off, and now we're going to fill our pan. I've got a loaf pan here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this with some vegetable spray. It's just cooking spray. It's vegetable oil in a spray. It's been under pressure. If you don't have that, you can just line this with a little bit of oil, some vegetable oil, canola oil, or a little bit of butter. So you just get in there, just mix it around. You can use your hand or use a little silicone brush. And that's what I'm going to do now. So I've sprayed my baking tin, and that's ready to go. And by the way, you don't need a fancy machine like this. It is a really nice machine, I must admit. And it makes everything so much easier. However, you can do this even with a small electric mixer, and you've seen me do that in another video. And you could do this by hand as well. If you have really ripe bananas, it is very easy. You'll just want to break them down, just mash them in a little cup or bowl, and that will do the trick as well. So just before you pour your contents into your little pan, always just get your little spatula right in there and just go right to the bottom. Just give it a nice little fold. Just make sure that everything is well incorporated, just in case the mixer missed something. So you just get in there and just give it a little fold onto itself, and that looks good. And this smells amazing. So let's make sure we're on camera here. So that spray is just a regular vegetable spray, Now you could also flour this, but I like doing this because it adds a little bit of texture on the outside of our banana bread. It gives you a little bit of a crisp on the outside. So it really is up to you. And my oven is set, preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So you never want to put any baked good, cakes, cookies, pizza, anything that goes into the oven that's going to be baked. You never want to put it into a cold oven. So when you're making your recipe, turn your oven on about 20 minutes before you know that you're going to be placing it into the oven, and that way you can be sure that the oven is at the correct temperature when you place your cake or cookies in. So that looks good just like that. Not bad. And then I'm just going to take it, and I just like to do this. That's my little technique. You can do whatever you want, or you can just give it a, a little bit of a tap. And we are ready to go into the oven. 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to bake this off, and then I'll come back and I will tell you exactly how long I baked it. Hey everybody, I am back. This was in the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, exactly 1 hour, 60 minutes. This just came out. It is extremely hot, but I just want to give you a little look at what this looks like. Oh, amazing. Let me flip it around here. Look at that. Look at the rise on that. Oh, this looks really, really good. So at this point, I want to let this sit in there for about 20 minutes. Right now, everything is very fragile. If you tried to lift it out at this point, it would fall apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it cool down, and then I'll remove it, and then we'll finish off the video. You'll probably want me to cut into it, and that's what we'll do. So this was extremely hot, so I thought I would leave it a little bit longer. So this is a good half an hour later, and now I'm just taking a spatula and I want to go right down to the bottom. If you want also, you can take a knife, just get that right down so that you can feel the base and go around. That side's good. All the way down. And that's good like that. This is still very warm. And then I'm going to flip this over. Turn it like that. And there we go. Perfect. Oh, this smells really good. Let's flip this over. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm really happy with this. So this is extremely warm still. I don't want to cut into it. I want to completely cool this down. So I'm just going to let this go for a few hours, and then we'll come back and we'll cut into it. So here we are, several hours later, and my banana loaf is completely cool at this point. But just before we cut into it, I wanted to show you how nice this looks and the really nice rise that we got on top of the loaf. Look at that, really nice. All right, let's cut into it. To make a really nice cut, I am using a serrated knife. Cuts really nicely. Let's see. Look at that. Oh, and the aroma just hit me. Wow, really nice. Let's just tilt this up so you can see it. Ooh, I am very, very happy. Get a little slice of this. And let's lift that up and you can see how moist that is. Super, super moist. Of course, I'm going to have to go in for a little piece. I love banana bread. Okay, that's really good with the addition of the raisins. Not only does it taste like raisin bread, but you get the banana bread, so it's a banana raisin bread, I guess you could call it. The only thing missing, of course, is a little bit of cinnamon to truly make it a raisin bread. But you've got to try this recipe out at home. So that's it for today's really fun video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you wish, and if you do subscribe, there's a brand new notification bell right beside the subscribe button. If you click that, you'll be notified in your email each time I upload a brand new video. And if you're on Facebook, please come visit my page at facebook.com/BakeLikeAPro. And if you give my page a like, I'd really appreciate that. So that's it for today's really fun video, and I'll see you next time. Gotta go in for a little bite. That is amazing. Really yummy.